Guess what?
What?
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Welcome back. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen.
And today, we got an update for you.
We have an HOA update.
Oh.
This is the update you all have been waiting for, I'm sure.
The HOA date? The HOA update.
The HOA holes update.
Ooh, HOA holes.
So, where we left off, we were big fans of malicious compliance. And malicious compliance got a little better. So, I ended up getting a fine. I don't know if that was in the last video, but we ended up getting a piece of mail that said, you are being fined for your yard. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? They fined us like $100. And I called and I was like, you're going to need to take this fine off because otherwise I can't afford to fix my yard. And this is all stuff that I didn't know anything about. She was like, oh, well, this is wrong and this is wrong. And I was like, I'm a new homeowner and you know this. I've told you this. I've lived in apartments my whole life. I don't have a clue what you're talking about when you say there's weeds in my rock beds. Are those not plants? What's a weed? What's a plant? And I'm sitting here like, I really just need help. So the lady was like, well, you know, you could come to an HOA meeting. Those are on Wednesdays at noon. Who can do that? I think that they put them there specifically so no one can go and like plead their case. So I was like, I'm sorry, I can't go to this HOA meeting. And then she goes, well, I can come by and walk through your property and tell you everything that's wrong. And I'm like, oh, this should be good. So one Wednesday afternoon, before I went to the studio, there she was. It was like right before Dragon Con too. There she was in her car, driving up, looking at my yard with this face. She's actually really, really nice is the thing. Like, she's super sweet to talk to. And I was playing so nice. I was like, oh, thank you so much for telling me all this stuff about my yard. Because I don't know anything. And it's true. I don't really know anything. She's like, you see all these? These are weeds. And I was like, I thought those were plants. Like, for real. No one told me that those were weeds. And we have weed service. I told her, I was like, we're paying for weed service. We have yard service. I don't know what else to do. She goes, well, it's really bad. And I'm like, well, you want to tell me why? So apparently we have dead trees that don't look dead because there's vines on the trees. I thought that that was the leaves from the tree, but apparently it's a vine that isn't coming from the tree.
I thought it was new growth.
I did too. And she's like, yeah, these are dead and they're being suffocated. I'm like, well, if they're dead, they're already, does it matter if they're being suffocated? Doesn't it give it some green? But apparently no, we can't keep those. And then we had all these like little plants sprouting in the mulch bed. And apparently those are weeds. And I didn't know that those were weeds. How was I supposed to know? I've been telling her this. I don't know anything about yards. So she came finally, like I said, and showed me, okay, these are weeds. This is dead. This needs. And I'm like, okay, cool. Taking notes. Got this. And she's like, and you need to mow once a week. I was like, well, the guy that was mowing my yard, he had some scheduling issues because of the heat, and like if he doesn't get people's yards done in time, he can't do my yard, and then he has to push me off to the next week. So it's been a little more sporadic than I wanted to, but for his safety, I understand it. She goes, well, then you need a new yard guy. And I was like, he's kind of been my yard guy though.
For
like,
several years.
For a long time. Like, I didn't want to get a new yard guy, but you know, I'm kind of loyal. I was like, it's hot out. It's like he can do 3 yards in the morning, and that's it. And I know you tried to do the yard a couple times, and that basically blew his like engine for the whole day. He couldn't do anything because the heat. I was actually talking to somebody about that yesterday. But yeah, so she's like, you need to mow this every day, and I was like, okay, or every week. I'm like, okay, I'll try. Hey, Chris, can you mow my lawn? Like, please, pretty please, with the cherry on top, with the HOA is gonna find me on top. So there's that. And then she was like, you see these little things that look like grass coming out of the rocks that you have? That's weeds. And I was like, I thought it was grass. She goes, well, you shouldn't have grass in your rocks. I was like, no one told me that either. So all these like things. And she's like, yeah, and your grass right outside your fence is like too long. And I'm like, is that not the golf course? She's like, no, that's not the golf course. I was like, well, they usually cut that. So I guess it's the golf course now. So long story short, she's pointing out everything that's wrong. And then she looks at the net that we put up. You remember the net And for those of you that are new, we put up a net that is supposed to protect our house from golf balls. And so far, it is doing an amazing job. If you missed that video, check out our first HOA video. The link will be in the description below. It's doing an amazing job of protecting our house. I guess most of the hits happened on this wall right here because I never hear golf balls hit us anymore. We have a big net that catches them. It's nearly invisible. If you remember the pictures, it is nearly invisible. You can see a little bit of it on like the whiter part of the house, but not in front of the screen. She's in our backyard, and I'm like, shoot, she's going to see the net. So she goes, and she sees it, and she's like, yeah, this net's got to go. And I was like, no. I was nice up until that point. I was like, no, it doesn't. She goes, yes, it does. We told you could plant trees. And I was like, trees are not going to protect my house the way that this net is protecting my house. And then she has the actual audacity to say, well, you bought a house on a golf course, so you should have assumed the risk. And I was like, or the golfers could not destroy my property? They could take responsibility for what they're doing? It's not a risk if it's like, sure, it's a risk if a bird like flies into my window. The bird doesn't know any better, and that poor bird. But like somebody hitting a slice, like that's on them. But apparently it's not, and it's my fault for buying a house on a golf course. Thank you for that. Yeah, no, it's not coming down. And she goes, well, you can come to the meeting and explain your case, and maybe they'll say yes. And I was like, I can't come to the meeting. I don't really know what you want. I can try to get a clear one that you can't see as well, if that helps. And she goes, no, you really can't have that. And honestly, I see this metal piece on your roof. You really shouldn't have that either. I was like, it was like that when we moved in. I'm not taking it down. It is absolutely protecting my screen. And I'm not taking the net down. And so we kind of got into this little back and forth of like, but you are taking the net down. And I was like, but I'm not. And I'm over here like, you can find me out the wazoo. That's never coming down. Because it's not just a matter of like destruction of property. It's a matter of my cats. If they break the window, my cats could get hurt, or worse, get out. If they break the screen, same thing. My cats could get out, or animals could get in. We keep our back porch door. Like, it has a little cat door. We don't need raccoon. Well, I know you want a raccoon. Okay, I'm sorry. We don't need wild raccoons coming in. We don't need geese coming into this house, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Going to war with geese in the house.
So yeah, we are not taking that net down. I don't care how bad they find us. I don't care how angry they get. That net is never coming down. It is doing the Lord's work right now.
Yeah, and it's gotten to the point where like, the thing is this whole time we've been making progress to improve our yard, like, you know, slowly, of course.
We've been working on it.
But it's a process, and then the people that were working on it was like, yeah, it's going to take some time. So we're like, cool, it's going to take some time.
But they're like, oh, well, it's been since May, and now it's August, and it's not fixed. And we're like, well, the people that are doing it, I even got a letter from the people that were doing our weeds for the yard. They sent a letter, and it still wasn't enough. So like, she's like, you're going to need a new company.
We got to the point where they were like, before they were like, oh, you need to cut the grass every week. So we've been doing that. We've been making adjustments based on their letters, but it wasn't fast enough for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, my favorite part is that we got a letter in the mail, the one about the fine.
Yeah.
Then that next day, we get a certified letter. So they literally had to pay to have a letter certified to us that we got the day before.
Yep.
So
next time I'm just letting it stay at the post office. Now that I know what it is. I don't get certified mail. I thought it was from the UK thing.
Yeah, we thought it was something else, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. I was like, I don't know what they would have sent me.
But the thing is that we've been constantly trying to improve, and like, you know, the guy that was doing our grass was doing a great job helping us, you know, keep it clean and stuff, but it was like a lot. And like she said, this is our first time having a house.
Yeah, and mind you, when we hire people, we have to tell them to wear a helmet. Okay? Like, please remember that.
When I'm out there working in the yard, I literally will keep, like, I never put my back towards where they tee off.
Yeah.
So I can literally see when people are teeing off to make sure I don't get hit.
Because he could get hit in the head, and that's brain damage. Like, that's bad.
Heaven help whoever hits me.
if you survive it,
If I
you
survive
literally
it,
could die.
Yeah,
like,
but if I survive it,
I don't need to
I'm not
worry
gonna-
about you dying while you're mowing the lawn, whether it's
Yeah.
from heat exhaustion or from a golf ball or both.
But like the front flower beds and stuff. When we moved in, it had all these like cool looking plants and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't
and
know
they're
that
like
those
they're
were
weeds.
weeds.
And like they were there when we got here. What do you want me
I
to
didn't
do?
know that those were weeds. So, okay. So the lady comes by. I basically put my foot down on the net. I'm not taking it down. She did mention the flag. She goes, "So I wanted to ask about your flag." And I was like, "Yes, what about my flag?" And she goes, "What are the trash pandas?" And I was like, "Oh, they're my favorite AAA baseball team." I think they're AA, but whatever. I said AAA. Said they're my favorite AAA baseball team. Yeah, sometimes they play the jumbo shrimp. They're awesome. They're super fun, and I follow them on TikTok, and I love baseball. Mm-hmm. And I'm just laying it on thick, and she goes, "Oh, okay, very cool." Mm-hmm. So I gotta find a minor league football team with a stupid name just for football season.
Every year, whatever season it is, just have like the most obscure.
Can I get a little Giants flag? Oh, what's a polk high? I want polk high.
Too bad the Lingerie Football League isn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Can't get mad at us.
Puppy bowl?
Puppy
Can
bowl.
I have a puppy bowl flag? I don't know. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's part of the saga. It gets better. Mm-hmm. Did I find a solution for the yard?
You know what? You searched and you were like, I would like to know how to get this resolved. So you know what? She found a solution.
I did. It's a better solution than I could have ever dreamed of. Like, we have no stress about the yard now. Zero stress.
Zero.
Why do you ask? Oh, great question.
Wait, why, Jen?
So I looked up this company, and I remembered that they did our irrigation when we first came in because we had a problem with one of our sprinklers. And the water company was like, "We can't turn on your water until you fix the sprinkler." So I was like, "Hey, come out and fix my sprinklers." So they did. They were amazing. It was great. And I was like, looking up their website, and I was like, they do yards. They do like landscaping and stuff. Let me call them. So I called, and I was like, "Hey, my HOA is very mad at me, and I really need someone to maintain my yard, do all the weeds, make it look pretty, and I need to have nothing to do with it. I just want to pay you, and you do it." And the lady was like, "Oh, which HOA do you live in?" And I said, "I'm in Eagle Harbor." Now, mind you, remember, I said my HOA is very mad at me. I didn't say anything nasty. I didn't call them HOA holes. I just said my HOA is very mad at me right now. And she said, "Which HOA are you in?" And I said, "I'm in Eagle Harbor." And then she goes, "Oh, I'm on that HOA board." Good thing I didn't say anything nasty, right? So she's on the HOA board. And I'm like, "So how much is it for you guys to make my yard exactly what the HOA wants?" Because she knows. She knows what this HOA wants. She said a price that was very much within our budget because it was basically the same price as we were already paying between the person mowing our lawn and the people doing the weeds. This just combined that amount. And they're taking care of, they're pulling the weeds. They're taking care of everything. They're even removing trees. I hacked the HOA problem by literally hiring the lady who's on the HOA board to maintain my yard. So now if they ever have a problem with my yard, it is not my problem anymore. I simply say, "Oh, this lady who's on the HOA board is the one doing my yard. Please address your question to her."
Side note, ask Jen if ever since we hired them if we've gotten a letter.
Not even one. Not even about the net. Not one letter. And she's super cool. She's super sweet. I love this lady. She calls me to like tell me what's going on with the yard, and we end up just talking about like cats and stuff. It's really, really, and she lives like right down the street from me. And I'm like, how did I do that? I've been telling everyone in the neighborhood, like, hire this company, because if you do, you're set. You're absolutely set. Because anything that they have a problem with regarding your yard, you just say, "Oh, this person who's on the HOA board owns the company that is personally handling my yard. I don't even know what they're doing with it, but they assured me it would be within HOA guidelines. Please address your question to them."
Jen, hack the HOA.
How are we going to handle the net problem? We're going to try to get a clear one and see if they don't notice that. That's the best we're going to do. Barring that, I am not taking it down. Not at all. Because she's like, well, you could plant trees right in front of your window. And I was like, first of all, then where's my window view? I have no view then if there's like trees in front of it, right? And what happens if the trees don't catch the ball before it hits my window? Because that's possible. And then, that doesn't address the screen. And the screen, to me, is a bigger problem. Because we have shutters that will catch the ball or the glass before it hits anything inside the house. So, like, the bedroom window would be an expensive fix, but it's not really that big of a deal, like, safety-wise for the cats, but that screen sure is. So, that doesn't protect the screen at all. What am I supposed to do? It's a huge screen. What am I supposed to do with that? Nothing. So, here we are.
Hacking the HOA.
That's the best we got. But hey, at least we got out of any yard problems. They can't yell at me for anything regarding the yard anymore. Yay!
They're lucky. They keep it up. I'm going to go take a second mortgage out and just buy inflatables and stuff for Christmas.
Oh, no. We're still... it's not going to take a second mortgage, hun. But, like...
I was going to go big.
Oh, we're going big. We're going big with the Hanukkah inflatables. Don't you worry. We're at least getting the giant dreidel to go in the yard.
It's going on the roof.
I mean, I'm not up for you doing anything with the roof. If you want anything on the roof, you're going to have to tell Mike to do it.
It's going on the roof. I'm going to get Mike.
Okay.
We're going to have a 12-foot menorah.
I mean,
inflatable and lights
they
up.
have no issues with decorations as long as it looks...
See us from space.
But anyway, we just wanted to give you a little update on the HOA, and I'm so proud of how I managed to, like, secure us in here. Now we can stay. Now we don't have to move.
My favorite is she called me. She was like, hey, she texted me. She's like, I was at work. She's like, hey, can you call me real quick? It's about the yard. I was like, okay. She goes, so I broke their system. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, I hacked the HOA. He's like, literally? And I was like, no.
And she told me, and I was just laughing because I was like, cool.
I told my mom, and my mom was like, oh, that's good. And she is conniving, so, like, she knows. She knows. She still wants to look at their books, though.
Her and I one day will sit down.
Yeah, she still wants to look at their books, see if we need to do a hostile takeover. But right now, I'm cool. I'm satisfied. So, if you want my advice, whatever yard company your HOA recommends or uses or has somebody on the board of their HOA that runs, hire that one. Whatever they recommend, hire them to do your yard. Because then it's not on you anymore. You did exactly what they said to do.
And if they tear up your yard, if they tear up your yard, you'd be like, you guys recommended them, so...
Yep. I did exactly what you said. That is malicious compliance. It's our specialty. Well, hopefully you're enjoying the HOA saga. If anything else happens with the net, we will keep you posted.
Or anything else that they decide to throw at us.
And we will do one about the holiday decor. I promise. We're not doing Halloween decor, but it's not my thing to do Halloween stuff.
I might do a pumpkin on the porch.
Why don't we just get an inflatable pumpkin spice latte? He's going to shop on Amazon later to get one. That's what we'll put out. An inflatable pumpkin spice latte. Put your phone down until we're done. That was even upside down.
I tried.
Anyway,
I tried to be funny. I failed.
You can do the social media thing.
Fine. If you guys are new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Slowly getting there. Help us out.
No, we're really getting there.
Just click it.
We have over 300 now.
I know. Hi, all 300 of you.
Hi, all 300 of you that like hearing us talk.
Click subscribe if you haven't. But no, we really appreciate all that. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed Malicious Compliant, hit that thumbs up.
We love malicious compliance.
If you enjoy Jen hacking the HOA, hit that thumbs up. But no, thanks for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jen.
And we're out of here. Bye.